Berlin has been scorching today, a modern city of culture. Tonight it plays host to a Champions League final full of true pedigree. Barcelona and Juventus are standard bearers for football of style and strength. Two teams of rhythm, exuberance and sheer intensity. Barcelona were first crowned European champions in 1992, the last year of the old European Cup. Tonight they're attempting to win the Champions League for a fourth time in 9 years. They're a club that sets the bar very high. What do you think?
Hello, Shobaike, Shagatum Janachi, Eid Mubarak. To all the viewers and listeners of ABC Radio 89.2 FM Samannoy চলে আসলাম আশা করি সবাই ভালো আছেন সুস্থ আছেন বাসায় আছেন প্রিয়জনদেরকে নিয়ে এবং নিশ্চয়ই সেফটি মেজার্স নিয়েই চলছেন আশা করি সবার স্বাস্থ্য ভালো আছে যারা প্রাণ হারিয়েছেন তাদের জন্য অনেক অনেক সমবেদনা রইলো অনেক প্রার্থনা রইলো তাদের পরিবারের জন্য অবশ্যই এবং তাদের আত্মার মাগফিরাত কামনা করছি তাদেরকে শ্রদ্ধা জানিয়েই আমাদের আজকের শো শুরু করছি ইটস ঈদ স্পেশাল প্রোগ্রাম অন ABC Radio 89.2 FM it's ABC Commbox ঈদ স্পেশাল yes আমরা ABC cricket commentaries করে থাকি sports shows করে থাকি we've done a bit of the football World Cup as well and those shows were on ABC Commbox. The commentary was real on ABC Radio, wasn't it? But যখন খেলা হচ্ছে না আমরা খেলা commentary করতে পারছি না broadcast করতে পারছি না but we've got two very special people on the Eid Special ABC Commbox show with Samannoy. We've got Gavin Scovell and Mark Pougatch. Hello and welcome. Happy Eid to you guys too.
Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak, Gav. Eid Mubarak, Mark. Thank you very much for accepting the invitation and coming on my show. It's a pleasure to be on the same screen, on the same show as you guys. Jara onaderke chinte parchen. I'll just give a short, brief introduction for these guys. They need none, but still, I would take the pleasure of doing so. We've got Mark Pougatch, lead sports anchor and presenter BD Sport and ITV. We've got Gavin Scovell, senior director ICC. And owner Kingsdown TV, the two heavyweights of the global sports broadcast industry on ABC Radio 89.2 FM. It's truly a pleasure. How are you guys doing? I know Gav is in Barbados at the moment for the CPL. How's it looking? You're in self-isolation. Nice hotel room, I see that.
Yeah, we've got a beautiful view. Luckily, I've got a fantastic view to look at the Hilton here in Barbados. Been here for 4 days. We've got one more day. And then we're off to Trinidad for the CPL, where it all kicks off on the 18th. So we've got probably an 8-day isolation in our rooms, and then we go into bubbles with the players, and there's different bubbles on different floors of the hotel. So yeah, it's an interesting time, but really pumped that CPL 2020 is happening this year, and there's a wealth of famous names playing. So it's going to be a great tournament.
Yeah, look forward to it. And at the same time, I think before we went live, Mark and I both were enjoying the view you've got. You mind showing us around? The viewers could have some beauty outside as well.
Not a bad view, is it, really?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, moving on to Mark. Mark, how are you doing? The FA Cup final, it was just last night that Arsenal won the FA Cup. Arteta's Arsenal. Chelsea scored first, but the Gunners got a trophy this season at last.
I think the FA Cup and the Premier League, the way that the authorities got both competitions going again, the way that they had the COVID safety measures for the legitimacy of both competitions. I think it was a terrific effort from the authorities. And it was a really good game yesterday. It was obviously a bit weird. It was very weird that there was no spectators. But I think the players have got used to that now. The intensity of the game was what you would expect if there'd been a full crowd. Arsenal responded really well to going a goal down. Chelsea had no luck at all. I mean, to get two bad hamstring injuries in the manner that they did. And the second yellow card was extremely harsh on Kovacic. But Arsenal came through in the end. Mikel Arteta's had a massive impact in 6 months already. You could see what it meant to them that they won a trophy. So Chelsea have had a very good season there in the Champions League. Arsenal have rescued their season with a trophy by being in the Europa League. And the football, as I say, the legitimacy of the football in both the Premier League and the FA Cup has been a great thing to see. And now they've got about 3 weeks off, Sam. They all go again. I mean, the Community Shield is at the end of this month. So no rest. I mean, they had 100 days off in the middle for obvious reasons. So all in all, with the football, they've done really well here.
Yeah. I'd like to talk about that a bit in detail. How difficult was it to resume the games, the Premier League, referring to the Premier League? The Liverpool fans, they were going crazy that after 30 years they're going to win a major trophy. The English Premier League, and there, there's a pandemic. The games are not underway. At the same time, I've got a few friends who are United supporters back here, and some of them were like, I'm going to get married before Liverpool wins the trophy, and they got married during the pandemic. So things like that have been going on. But how difficult was it for the FA to organize everything, and also for you guys to carry on with the show?
I think it was really hard to start with, Sam, and to be honest, I think a lot of people felt that it just would not be achievable, that there were far more important things to worry about, which clearly there were, which was people's safety, people's health, people's lives. And then after a couple of weeks, I think there was this growing feeling that for the legitimacy of the league, they needed to finish. Obviously, there was huge financial implications. Let's not pretend otherwise. There'd have been legal implications for not finishing, not just Liverpool winning the league, but who was going to get relegated, who was going to get promoted. We've got the playoff final this week with Brentford and Fulham. So I think it took an awful lot of time. I think the initial shock, we've got to call all sports off. Then let's everybody just stay in their houses, stay home and control the virus. Then, well, are we able to get going again? And if we are, how difficult is that going to be? What are the practicalities that it's going to be? And I think for the fact that they managed to do that, and everybody, I would say, is actually very happy. Even the teams that went down would be happy that it was played in the right way. Obviously, and I think this is why we had some injuries yesterday. The players have played a lot. It's the summer. The pitches are hard, the intensity. But they did it on match day very well. The little bubbles. In the playing team, you'd be in one bubble. If you were in the media, you were in a slightly wider bubble and so forth. They've done it extremely well. And I have to say, and obviously this is where Gavin knows all this, they've done it very well with the Test match series as well against the West Indies in a very similar sort of vein.
Yeah. I was getting there, Gavin. Yeah, please.
Wonderful achievement by the ECB and by Steve Elworthy to get the Test series up and running, both at the Rose Bowl and at Old Trafford. But let's not forget the contribution of the West Indies. They were prepared to come over here. A magnificent performance, and especially when you consider that a lot of the fast bowlers that they have didn't have much time to prepare, get ready, and you could see in the fitness. But it was a tremendous series and really lays the platform now for Pakistan, which is about to start soon. But the West Indies Cricket Board over here actually have been taking a lot of notes from what the ECB have done, and they've really put a really good plan together for everybody's bubble here, how it's going to work with the CPL, and it all kicks off in a couple of weeks. So we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right. So everyone who's watching us at the moment, you guys, yes, Mark.
Sorry, I just said I hope nobody in the ECB and no England cricket fan forgets the contribution of the West Indies over the last month, and I hope that Pakistan in the coming weeks as well, and obviously they're playing at the moment in one day. I hope they never forget the contribution of the West Indies to come over. Not all of them did, at obviously some limited risk to themselves and the financial implications of it, to make sure that A, we had cricket in this country, which was great, and B, they put money into the ECB coffers in the worst summer of all. It's a massive contribution from the West Indies, and the ECB need to bear that in mind when the West Indies and the Pakistan cricket boards come and say, can you help out with whatever it is, a tour, a match, or so forth? We owe the West Indies big time.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah, definitely. Very good and important points brought up by Mark Pougatch. We all, I think, should be grateful to the West Indies for traveling, taking the risk, going all the way. Not to mention the sponsors' contribution as well. I think it's great for not only for ECB but also for global cricket as well that we got some international cricket underway. It was a major relief, I think, for the cricket lovers, and also to the FA. Hats off to FA and the ECB as well for taking the challenge and doing it the right way. And I think the rest of the world, we can all take notes and learn from how it was done and carry on like that. And really wish the West Indies Cricket Board all the best for the Caribbean Premier League as well. But it was surely for the sports lovers, I think it was the best thing, because during this pandemic, we've all been shut down at home or out of our regular lives, and no such entertainment in terms of sports. We've been watching the repeat telecasts, the highlights of the games we liked. Yes, that's great, but how long can you watch the highlights? You're urging to see something more, right? So I think hats off to all the boards for doing a great job. At the same time, I just want to thank everyone who's watching us during this holy occasion of Eid. They're watching us. They're having a good time. A lot of them are wishing you guys Eid Mubarak. I'll just take this opportunity to read some of the comments we've got. And we've got Mr. Shishi saying hi, Paul, hi. Shihab, hello. Adnan, Eid Mubarak to everyone. And Giyasuddin saying hi, Mark. Mahfuz Rahman saying good to see you, Gavin and Mark. So Mahfuz, I think Gav, you know Mahfuz very well.
Legend, a legend, a TV legend. Mahfuz.
Yeah. Going back to that, when's the last time, Gav? I think it was in 2016 that you came for the Under-19 Cricket World Cup in Bangladesh. Was it?
Do you know what? You're absolutely right. Spot on. Under-19 World Cup, 2016, Bangladesh. Our first gig with the ICC TV. I'll never forget it. It was a brilliant experience. We were mainly in Dhaka, but also Chittagong. And yeah, it was a fantastic tournament. But what about the under-19s in South Africa this year?
Yeah, you were the one
taking on India and beating India when Rakibul Hassan hit that winning run. I'll never forget it. We're off our seats in the control room. It was magnificent. Akbar Ali, the captain. There were some wonderful moments in that. And it's great to see Bangladesh cricket coming of age. And I really, really hope that now this inspires the next generation and you know, the national team are going to be stronger. But they're up there in the rankings, especially in the ODI rankings. And they're a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Yeah. I wanted to go to that. I remember when Bish was saying the Tigers have conquered the African plains, and it was goosebumps for all the Bangladeshi Tiger lovers. Oh man, I can't forget that moment. And it was brilliantly put to you. You know, hats off to you and your team. Because I remember Rakibul hitting the winning runs at a bat drop instead of a mic drop. He did that. I asked him on an interview, how did you come up with that? Of dropping the bat and Akbar Ali raising his hands, beautifully put on split screen. I watched the highlights over and over again, and as I mentioned, I was thinking of putting bits and pieces of it here, but we're not doing it for the copyright issues. But it was brilliant. How was it from the Commbox and producing it?
Yeah, it was a fantastic tournament, actually. It's one of my favorite tournaments. So we do ICC TV. We do all of the men's, women's events. The last event was the Women's World Cup in Melbourne in February, which we managed to get 86,000 there. It was incredible. And Katy Perry's pre-match performance. Highlights of my career, directing that was much harder than the cricket, I'll tell you. Yeah, I got away with it. I think it seemed to go okay. I'm not sure, but yeah. So we got the under-19. Yeah, well, exactly. Well, the under-19s is my favorite tournament because I don't know a lot of the players. It's a great chance to know them, learn about them. Their families are usually there, so you get some great colour in the crowds. Yeah, really. You know, it was pumped, and it was in Potchefstroom. It was in Kimberley. It was in areas of Benoni or of South Africa that don't usually see a lot of ICC tournaments. So it was great to be back there. Very hospitable country, and it was a wonderful tournament.
Yeah, it was, and I personally want to thank you and your team for the production. The way the highlights came, the split screen, it was beautiful. It felt like a movie at least for me, and I'm sure for all the Bangladeshi fans. As I said, I can't get over the bat drop. Akbar Ali raising his hands.
Beating India must have put the icing on the cake for you.
Yeah, it did. To be honest, Mark. You've visited Bangladesh as well, and I just got to know about it. It was back in 1995. I think the England A was here in Bangladesh as well, and you were there. You were here covering cricket as well, so you've covered a bit of cricket.
I've covered a lot of cricket in my career. Gavin knows. I mean, I think I grew up in the generation as Gavin did, really, where we love football in the winter and cricket in the summer, and of course the two have been inevitably merged a bit. But 1995, England A, which was like the sort of promising England team, the sort of second 11 England team, they went for 2 months to India. So we went to Mumbai and Kolkata and Chennai and so forth. and then to Dhaka. And of course, this is before Bangladesh were a test playing nation. And I remember they definitely played a 3-day game and maybe a 1-day game in Dhaka as well. It was a fabulous experience. And I really got a sense there of just how much they love cricket. And you could feel then that test status wasn't too far away, that the infrastructure was there, the passion was there, the ability was there. It was just a question of the ICC giving them a chance. And in that, Michael Vaughan was in that team. So that just shows the sort of caliber player. Dominic Corker had a very good test career. Michael Vaughan, obviously, one of England's best ever test captains. So it was a fabulous experience. And then to watch Bangladesh since then. And last summer, this time last year, when we had the Cricket World Cup, which Gavin directed so brilliantly and directed the final, I went to Trent Bridge with my wife to watch Australia-Bangladesh. And we sat amongst the Bangladesh fans. We had a fabulous day. The noise and the colour and the excitement and the backing for Bangladesh, and obviously a very big Bangladeshi community, as you know, Sam, in this country. That was they put up a really good fight against the Australians as well. That was a great afternoon.
Can I say, Sam, without doubt, the best fan at the World Cup in England last year were the Bangladeshi fans, and I'm not just saying that. They were the most colourful, and Mark just testified, the most colourful, the loudest, the craziest, the most passionate fans at any of the cricket, and a lot of the other directors said that as well. Wherever they went, the Bangla fans were the most passionate and the most energetic.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We are very passionate about our sports, and particularly cricket, football as well. And you know, we did well, and we really look forward to winning another major trophy. Thankfully, Akbar Ali and Co. They got us going. Got our first. Look forward to more. But Mark, how was your experience back in Dhaka, back in Bangladesh when you came? It's been a while though.
I absolutely love it. One of the joys of my job, and Gavin will testify this, is to go around the world and to visit countries that you haven't been to before and cultures that you don't know much about. And I just remember people being so welcoming and so friendly and wanting to talk about cricket, and then wanting to talk about how Bangladesh could get into international cricket. It was a fabulous experience going downtown into Dhaka. And I like when I go to a place I don't know, just walking around, and that's how you get the sense of a place and the feel of a place and the beat of a place and the rhythm of it, just by walking around and talking to people and eating locally. It was a great experience, and I would absolutely love to come back to Dhaka again.
Yeah, it would be a pleasure to have you back here. It's been a while, as I said. We've got some more comments. We've got Mr. Shoman Guha saying Eid Mubarak to Gavin, Mark, and to you as well, Sammy. Eid Mubarak. Yeah.
Good man, Tiger. Yeah, he's a cameraman who works with us. He's brilliant. He's doing great things around the world, that man. So keep going, Suman.
Yeah. He's been on the camera on ICC Productions. Something to be proud of for us. Great going, Shominda. Mahfuzur Rahman, he is asking Gavin, tell us your final over memories in the ICC World T20 2016 final in India. 4 sixes in a row, final over. I was there, part of your team. It was a great experience with Sunset and Vine.
Oh, wow. Calcutta, who can remember the name? Who can forget that? I keep ribbing Ian Bishop, actually. He's on the CPL here, but he's coming out today to Trinidad. Keep ribbing him about it. He hates it. He hates being reminded about remember the name. But to be honest with you, I thought we were dead and buried. I say we, I mean England, because I'm English. Dead and buried that last over. I thought no chance they're going to get, was it 23? I can't remember. But Stokes just kept bowling in a slot, and Brathwaite peeled off the first couple. The third one, I just thought, oh my God. And it was a great day. I don't know if you remember it, but it was a hat trick of wins for West Indies. It was they won the under 19s. That morning, they won the women's, right, which we televised before the final in Calcutta, which was a great game. So I had the women's team there as well and the men's team. And then, of course, Brathwaite came to the party. Boom, 4 sixes, immense, and a massive pitch invasion. And it just teed off. And it was one of the best occasions of that and the World Cup final last year were, I mean, if I die tomorrow, I'll be a happy man because, I get a chance to be there at the helm directing both of those games. Such amazing atmosphere. And I don't know if you know Eden Gardens, Maths does. He'll tell you that the control room there is a tin roof, right? Mm-hmm. So when it rains, it's like, oh my God, the noise. It's like you're being bombed. And there was so much noise. There was a stand above us and it was shaking like this. And I remember trying to cover the match and I couldn't hear a thing because of this stuff shaking. with a weight of about 100,000 people above us. But no, magic moments. Walking out on the ground. I remember walking out on the ground after that moment and just taking it all in, and no one had moved. Not like England, where people leave after the the last ball and they go home. No, people stayed there for hours. It was electric.
Yeah, definitely, and also referring to the men's World Cup final, England versus New Zealand. Ian Smith, Ian Bishop, Nasser Hussain, the trio doing a great job, and I keep watching it as a commentator as well, over and over again, except for remember the name part. But it was
the barest of margins, wasn't it? The barest of margins. Ian Smith.
Barest of margins.
Again, very privileged to be involved in that. I mean, who would have known? And in fact, it's quite ironic that Mark's right here with us now, because ITV have just lifted the BAFTA, took it from under our noses for the best program of the year. But no, well done to ITV Sport for the Rugby World Cup. They did a terrific job.
Congratulations to ITV and Mark.
Yeah, they won the BAFTA. Well done.
For the BAFTA.
Well, Gavin's he's very because I have to tell you, there are about 4 awards. And the cricket had quite rightly, and Gavin's expert directing, won all the other ones. So we at ITV, obviously, we're very happy to have won. And I think I can say very surprised to have won, to have picked them at that. But the job that Gavin did on that cricket, and I was there as a punter with my wife, which was but just have to worry about taking the right number of sandwiches with me and so forth. It was an extraordinary afternoon as a supporter. It really was.
Yeah, amazing. Feels great itself to hear about it. I can't wait to be a part of such productions. It would be a dream come true. But leave that aside. Leaving that aside, yeah, fingers crossed. But leaving that aside, I think even personally and the people around, sports is something that we all love, and it gives us immense pleasure. I think it unites people. It unites the nation. When I'm referring to Bangladesh, whenever Bangladesh is playing, be it cricket or football, cricket in the last few years, definitely, everyone's together, brings the country together, as I said, and globally as well, right? Whenever we're watching Champions League or Premier League, the United fans, the Liverpool fans, and I'm really happy that Liverpool won the trophy. I'm a Liverpool fan, but everything, a good banter among the friends. It is something that we look forward to and keeps us together. And then, thanks that England Cricket Board has got cricket going, the FA has got the football growing. What I want to know from you guys, from bits and pieces from you guys both, I'll go to Mark first. Some pointers from your end, whenever you guys were doing the show, like I've watched your show on Star Sports here, the Premier League productions. You were covering the Premier League matches, right? Reviewing the matches. What are the precautions you guys took? How difficult was it? What were the challenges? If the productions here or the rest of the world can take some pointers from you guys, it would be amazing.
Yeah, it was a very big challenge, and obviously with something like Premier League productions, there was a demand from all the channels around the world to keep providing content. So through apps and links that we're using now with you, Sam, we managed to do quite a lot of programs from home, but that's obviously not the same. We wanted to get into the studio as soon as we could. So we got back in about 3 or 4 days before restart, so middle of June. And as you know, because you would have worked in a busy newsroom, you'd normally have 30, 40, 50 people in there. Suddenly you go in there, you have to fill out a form before you went in to say, had you been around anybody who tested positive? Were you experiencing any symptoms that would make you think that you might have COVID? And we had to wear masks, we had to social distance, and there was nobody in the studio who didn't need to be, nobody in the office, so nobody who wasn't directly involved in the making of that program imminently was there. So instead of 30, 40 people in a newsroom, we had 5, and the galleries obviously had to have big perspex screens between everybody as well. We had to mic ourselves up. This will make Gavin laugh. We had to do our own makeup. There was a makeup lady in there, but she stood in the corner of the room and said, "You're big, I'll get more powder on." Yeah.
Is that why you've grown a beard?
So we had to do all that. So it worked really well, but you had to really know what you're doing. Had to make sure, particularly, you had a mask with you. Had your temperature taken as you walked in. So it's done well, but you just have to be extremely disciplined and extremely well organized, and then it can work.
Yeah, and every member of the team, no matter which part you're playing, what your role is, everyone has to be equally responsible when it comes to fighting something as big as a pandemic. Everyone has to be responsible and careful and cautious.
That's right. Well, look at what happened.
I mean, the importance of this is not lost on any of us, and it has to be that way.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a few more questions. I'll go to Gav about what are the precautions you guys are taking, the board is taking, the authorities are taking for the CPL. Prantor has written, first of all, a massive applause to both of you to produce all the technical details of the game. Thank you for joining here. My question to both of you is, if you could get the opportunity to broadcast any of your childhood cricket memory, which match would you like to do and why? Thanks.
Good question. Prantor, good question. Cricket memories.
He's a cricket commentator as well. He does the cricket commentary on the ABC radio. We work on the same team.
Well, mine would be a football commentary, actually. And I was there, 1980, showing my age here, 1980. My team, West Ham, Mighty Irons, at Wembley, against Arsenal. Trevor Brooking, 14th minute, glancing header, 1-0, thanks for coming, FA Cup. It's pertinent just to mention the FA Cup now. 1-0, 1980. I would love to. I was there, but I would love to have been working on that game. But I was only about 10 years old at the time, so that would have been difficult.
Yeah, Mark, what about you?
That's a great one. And Trevor Brooking is the most charming, lovely English gentleman you could meet, and I work with him a lot. So I go with Gavin. I would probably, 1980, I'd go 1981. I was 13, the famous Ashes series. And actually, there were 3 amazing matches. There was Headingley, there was Edgbaston, there was Old Trafford. But probably you'd have to go for Headingley because it was so against the head. In England, 500-1. And obviously, Ian Botham's innings, backed up by 2 men who are very sadly not with us any longer. Graham Dilley played a massive part in that. And then Bob Willis's astonishing fast bowling on the final day. I think that was the game in many ways which elevated cricket into another stratosphere. And obviously Ian Botham's legend and the start of his legend, because he bowled brilliantly at Edgbaston the next test, and then at Old Trafford hit Dennis Lillee everywhere. But I think I'd go for Headingley 81.
Headingley 81 it is for Mark. Yeah, and the West Ham game for Gavin. Gav, pardon?
Wembley, 1980.
1980, Wembley, yes. Gav, how long have you been self-isolating? How was traveling? And what are the precautions being taken in the Caribbean?
Well, it's good, thanks. It's not so bad. I mean, the view's pretty good. We're allowed out of the we're allowed only in the hotel here at the Hilton in Barbados. So it's got a beach and a pool, so that's not the end of the world. It'll be different today when we fly to Trinidad this afternoon. There's about 150 in total of all the teams, all the coaches, etc., and the media, and we're all being put on different floors. Then we have a 7 to 8 day isolation when we can't leave our rooms. They're disinfecting our luggage. They've got the knock and drop meal routine where they bring meals to your room. Apparently they don't clean your rooms, which could be interesting for 7 days. But I believe they are doing laundry, so that's nice. But the Ministry of National Security have been involved here, and they've been very good in Trinidad. And we've had to do a lot of tests. We've had 2 tests already. We get probably another test today when we land. After isolation, we do another test. And then after 8 days, we're put into bubbles of 4 or 5 people, generally people that you traveled with in the first place. And then it all kicks off on the 18th of August, the CPL 2020 in Trinidad. 2 venues in Trinidad, the Brian Lara Stadium, the big stadium, for the start and the finals, and then the Queen's Park Oval, usually a hotbed of the Trini posse, great atmosphere, but of course there's no crowd. So we're going to have virtual cheerleaders, fan interaction on Zoom from different teams, and we're coming up with new ways to cover the sport, because it's the first time, I've covered cricket like this, and I've watched what Sky did very well in England. So a few ideas floating. You have to watch it.
Yeah, we will. So referring to Sky, and that's what I don't know if you're planning the same thing. But what about the audience ambience? Is it taken from Zoom and given into the stadium so that the players have something to hear?
Where we do have a couple of audio tracks that we will be playing quite low level, because the tagline for the CPL is the biggest party in sports. So it's still going to be a big party, but probably not the biggest party in sport because of the lack of crowd. But we'll be finding ways to pipe this music in, as they've done on the Premier League, actually pretty well, subtly, but not obviously. There'll be a DJ at the ground, and he'll be helping out with that, playing tracks, etc. But I quite like the fact that the viewer can hear from the stump microphones, all the chats at the wicket. It's great. It's really good.
And does it help the commentators as well?
I think so. We have a button. I have a button. I know the commentators do, where they can turn up and onto the levels of the stump mics, and they can hear exactly what's going on. And sometimes at a crucial stage in the match, it's really important to know what's going on out there. Some commentators love it. Danny Morrison always has it pumped up. That's why he shouts, probably. Some people don't have it at all. The great Richie Beto never had anything in his ear, just his boss's voices, So it's a personal thing.
Yeah. Last question to Mark. Like anything in regards to the ambience, how the stadium was, and how difficult was it for the players? Have you heard from the players or anybody else regarding that? Without the fans?
I think as a viewer, Sam, it took a little bit of time. And I was watching the first match with my son, and he wanted the silence, the natural noise, and I found it so disconcerting. I actually liked a little bit of the fake, bubble. I didn't mind that, but I was entertained last night after the FA Cup final when a couple of the Arsenal players said they could hear Ian Wright, who was being a pundit for BBC television, and they had an outdoor studio at one end of the pitch. They could hear Ian Wright shouting at them, encouragement. Rob Holding said he could hear Ian Wright going, "Tackle him, Rob! Get in there, Rob! Pass it, Rob!" So I thought that just showed it all, lads. I thought that was very, very entertaining. Then there was a bit of coaching coming from a pundit. I think it's your choice, isn't it? And I think Gav said it. There's a little bit of track there. If I watch it at home, I personally like a little bit. I found the silence actually very disconcerting. But it's you takes your money, you pay, takes your choice.
Absolutely. Thank you very much to both of you for coming live on the show. It has truly been a pleasure for me. I had the pleasure of getting trained under Gavin back in 2018. I had a lovely time in London, thanks to Gav, and thank you, Mark, for letting me in on your show as well. That was one of the highlights. It was just on the eve of my birthday. It is something I would really, really remember. I got to see a UEFA Nations Cup show. Ian Wright, Dee Dixon, they were there. Mark, you live in action. It was amazing. Learned a lot from the studio, from the panel as well. It was truly amazing. And I really look forward to more. Any last thoughts or points or suggestions from you guys for the rest of the world, maybe for the productions back here in Bangladesh as well, how to go about it, and to the fans who really, really look forward to watching more of sports. I'll go to Mark first.
Do you know what I'd say, Sam? Do you know what I'd say? There's nothing to do with production. My job. We have missed sports so much. Let's none of us take it for granted again going forward. And if you work in sport, it can be a little bit, where are we today? It's Saturday or this, whatever. This has been such a massive loss for everybody in the world because sport is such a massive thing in people's lives around the world. Let's not take it for granted again. Let's enjoy it. Let's put it in perspective. Let's get the most out of it. Enjoy it with our friends and family, for the sport, for the love of it, for what it is.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with you, Mark. Over to you, Gav. We've still got some questions from people regarding, like Sominda is asking, new dimension of CPL production. Mahfouz Bhai, he wants to know about Ben Stokes' 2016 T20 final and blah, blah, blah. Up to you. Otherwise, we can just, go to your suggestions. Gav.
Just first of all, just finishing what Mark said. Well said, Mark, by the way. Yeah, I totally agree. It's been such a strange, crazy time, and living without sport or just recorded sport has been, it's been a horrible experience for everybody. But we will conquer this. This vaccine will be found. We will get through this. So be strong, keep going, get your head down. And as Winston Churchill said, keep buggering on. We're going to get through this. And when we do, live sport will be back, and it'll be back with a vengeance. 2021, 2022, it'll be busy years. There'll be a lot of events that have been postponed will be played. So, just keep going, keep getting through it with a smile on your face. And, we'll get through it.
Fingers crossed. Really look forward to that day when we really do get through it. But again, hats off to everyone, each and everyone who's been working on the English Premier League, the FA Cup, the English Cricket Board, the FA. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to the West Indies Cricket Board for organizing the CPL. We'll be watching it live in a few days. And thanks to everyone who's working behind it, not only in front of camera, of course, the people in front of camera like Mark, and the people who are working at the back end like Gav and the rest of the team, even the runners, whoever's out there taking a risk, but then again, working for the passion. And we all love sports. And as Mark said, we should not take it for granted. It is entertainment, of course, but it is something we really, really love from the bottom of our heart. Thanks to both of you again for joining in. And all the best to your future work, Gav, for the CPL, and Mark, I don't know, the Community Shield and the rest of the season will be resuming again. Thank you very much. Anything you want to say? You want to add the last words if you want to, in short?
Look forward to coming back to Dakar one day very soon, Sam.
Yes, likewise.
Same
and
here.
To everyone listening, Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak to you too. We're watching some pictures of the Bangladeshi under-19 Tigers who won the World Cup. Gavin Scovell was in charge of the production. Yeah,
there it is. Scrum, yeah, who can forget that? Manu Sawney there, the ICC CEO, holding over the trophy. It was a great day. Lovely fellas, the Bangladesh players. I managed to talk to quite a few of them before the game. You know, but they were big underdogs for that final. You forget, you know, India was like odds on to win that match. So it was a huge event for the country and a huge event for the team. I really thought that there are going to be some future stars there. That was the hashtag of the whole event, future stars. And stars, yeah. So, you know, there's plenty of future stars in Bangladesh. Don't worry about that.
Yes, yes. Hopefully we'll have more and more trophies coming in.
Training worked well, I've got to say. You're doing well. Very good.
Thank you very much. Oh yeah, all right. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you very much, Gavin. Thank you very much, Mark, for joining in. I'll be bidding goodbye as of now. সবাইকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ আজকে শোটা দেখবার জন্য, and two heavyweights of the media, the sports broadcasting industry globally, joining in on my show, ABC Commbox, Eid Special on ABC Radio. It was a great pleasure. Thank you very much. Bidding goodbye. Stay safe, stay home as much as possible, and keep it going, because ABC Radio is always with you, and we really look forward to more of sports in the near future. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.